Thinking that you could lose somebody that important to you. Yeah. When we had kind of no heads up. She was otherwise very healthy, and the added layer of her being a grandma, thinking through the impact of that potential of losing her was overwhelming.
My mom, her name's Kathy. Our kids, who are 4 and 6, call her Nana. She was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal liver cancer in September of 2020. It came as a complete shock to us because she had no history of liver disease. She had no history of cancer.
Nothing can really prepare you for receiving a diagnosis like that. And we had come to find out that the type of liver cancer was a really rare and aggressive form. And so when she got into the hospital, they had given her about 2 months to live at that point.
So over those first 2 months, while we were talking to God pretty continually, my mom's health was declining and declining pretty rapidly. And so we felt that there was some imperativeness to hear from God and to be asking of him for a change in the situation.
In the years leading up to this diagnosis, Phil and I had really encountered God as a healer. We had seen him heal our infertility to start our family. We had seen him restore and heal mental health and other examples like that. So we wanted to ask him, what do you have to say about this cancer diagnosis? Because we know who you are. We know you're a healer. What do you have to say? And so it was a time spent digging in with him, asking those tough questions, crying out to him, and the emotion of it all, and the very dark place that time was for our family. I had felt a nudge from the Holy Spirit to put a stake in the ground of sorts, something tangible that spoke to the belief that, she was gonna be fully healed of that cancer in the end. And so I had this idea to get one of those Disney t-shirts, that has Nana plastered across the front with the Mickey ears and the whole deal. I knew at that point, she was so sick. Yeah. That literally the only way that she could get on an airplane again, let alone, spend an entire day at a Disney park, was if God healed her. So I got the t-shirt and I wrapped it up and I wrote a letter for her to read in the future. And I just expectantly tucked that in the back of my closet.
Yeah. First 2 PET scans that my mom received after being on chemo were extremely encouraging. Yeah. She had a 50% reduction in the cancer, then a 25% reduction in the cancer, and it was building up our faith. But we also knew that there might not be just the progression down to 0. And we found that the 2 following scans showed no decrease in the cancer. And actually on the scan, the cancer itself was getting brighter. There was more density around it. And so it was a really up and down season over that next year.
That time was tough. What is the response supposed to be when we feel like God has said he's going to bring full healing, but then we have these test results and they're not even going in the right direction?
So in February of 2022, my mom got her latest scan, and there was a couple weeks between the PET scan and her appointment, and the oncologist, this wasn't uncommon, called her and said, hey, the results look good. And so my parents show up to the appointment. He has on his monitor screen the last PET scan and the current PET scan. And what happened was my parents leaned in and said, these look very different. And that was when the oncologist shared in his professional opinion, I see no evidence of cancer in this scan. It's clear just from a visual standpoint, we can't see it either. And the oncologist went on to say, your liver is as healthy as my liver, which is as healthy as your husband's liver.
I feel like it's still needing to sink in, as expectant as we were for that. We're in awe, really. It's been a really fun and sweet thing for me to be able to dig into the back of my closet and pull out that gift and give that to Kathy. as we went to Orlando just a couple of weeks ago, and she's rocking that Nana shirt down in Orlando, and she did like a whopping 12-hour Disney park day like a champ with her grandkids.
For me, what's changed is my faith is overflowing. The tank of faith is overflowing. I know that when we put our faith in God, He will deliver.
For him just to, you know, show his goodness, his loving kindness, lots of grace over our family during that time has just really elevated my understanding of him as father. And I stay at home with our kids, so it's been so sweet, you know, to get a front row seat to watching them and their faith, you know, be grown through this. And now we're kind of in a season of walking out thanksgiving and praise and giving him all of the glory and the honor and praise that he deserves for this miraculous healing.